Hello, once again. Welcome to another episode of the Plug Podcast, Music and More, Bushy and Metal Mike. I am Bushy, and that man right there, that badass, is Metal Mike. How are you, brother?
I'm making it, dude. I'm doing okay. I mean, I got some family issues going on, but we'll get through it, and I don't know. Have I announced on the podcast?
No.
I just want to make a quick announcement. As anybody knows, I've been with Cranium Radio for a little over a year now, and the owner, proprietor, the founder really of Cranium Radio, along with a good friend of ours, Walter Greggs. Walter's no longer part of Cranium, but still part of the TMS Cranium family because it's very incestuous, folks. For the people who know, you know. um, but I'm buying in as a partner, me and JD of the Metallic Cave. So we're really excited. We think we can take Cranium to another level. I've already hired four prospective DJs. So I'm pretty excited. I'm the guy that's in charge of that. Like everybody has their thing, like JD's going to handle most of the promotional shit. Jeff's going to handle the website and stuff, but what's cool is Jeff's going to show me how to operate. I mean, I know how to use Sam, but we're talking about spatial, the station, like the auto DJ and all that. And we're
Nice.
all going to like help each other out. Like with the website, if somebody needs something help, and they can't do it, one of us can do it, just stuff like that. And we're really excited. We're really pumped about it. And I just want to throw that out there, man. So I hope you guys check out more of our awesome DJs and some of our new DJs at Cranium Radio because we're definitely growing, man. And the thing that's cool about Cranium is it's not just a metal station, folks. Anything goes. I mean, we even got a guy who does an outlaw country and a bluegrass show. So we're trying to diversify.
Nice. Nice. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
I've got to tell you, I was shocked when you told me this. And I've, of course, kept it under my hat because that's what good friends do. But,
Appreciate that.
but I was thinking, have you learned nothing?
I must be glutton for punishment, but here's the difference, I think, and I'm going to say this I'm not disparaging any of my past um, business partners, I guess, for lack of a better word. But I think that the vision me and Jeff and JD and I have is really copacetic, and we're very, very serious about, okay, like here's an instrument. Remember when Bill Elam from A to Z Radio that time told me, well, you can post your shows, you can archive your shows and put them on. And I was told explicitly by certain people, oh, you can't do that. That's illegal. That's illegal. Well, yes and no. It's illegal if you use Mixcloud and just use the free version of Mixcloud. The only kind of radio shows that you can put on Mixcloud and not get any legal repercussions or ramifications is if it's like talk radio
Right.
or a podcast where you just do nothing but talk, no music. But there is a premium version of Mixcloud, which my good friend and partner, DJ JD of the Metallic Cave, you can check him out every Thursday night right there at Cranium Radio. The Metallic Cave show every Thursday from 8 p.m. I think to midnight, maybe 11. Yeah, I think it's 11 p.m. or midnight every Thursday night Eastern Standard Time. He puts on a hell of a show, man. And the thing about Jerry, man, he does he promotes his own metal shows and metal festivals. Like he's very involved with the metal community of where he lives, which is, East Coast, New Jersey.
Right.
So he's a good guy, man. And he was the one that was like, no, dude, if you pay the premium basically takes care of, like, you don't have to worry about getting sued or getting in trouble or getting slapped down or them pulling it, because with you paying the premium, that handles all the bands and the record companies and everything. Kind of like what we do at Cranium and even TMS paying the ASCAP fees. I think it's kind of the same thing like that, so long story short, we are going to be now. JD's been doing this for a while. He was just doing it for his show, but we're going to do it for all the shows at Cranium, to where people want to hear past episodes. Say, if you can't check out what Metal Mike or any of us are doing, you can go and wait like a week or two later, and boom, it'll be there for you, man. So I've already archived my show. I'm in the process of editing it, and we're gonna, I'm pretty excited, man. I'm also thinking I'm gonna take the interviews that I did, the ones that I aired where I put like with Shaney and Brian. And then what I did is when I aired them, I just took the raw interviews and then I put like with Brian Slagle, I put two Metal Blade era Slayer songs front and back and sandwiched the interview in between. I'm going to send those to Jerry too to archive them so people want to listen to them. Or you can listen to the same interview here on the plug as well. And Bushy's amazing interviews too. Make sure you check out that interview. I just want to be able to get our stuff out to as many people as possible because not everybody can listen to a live radio show. Some people work nights or evenings or even during the day when we have, so this is a way for us to still get our shows out to where maybe if they listen to an archive show, they can go, man, these guys sound like they're having a lot of fun. The next day I have off, I think I will go into Cranium Radio's chat room and say hi to the DJs and interact with the other listeners. Cause that's what it's really all about, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's great. I think that's absolutely great.
Yeah. And it's just little stuff like that where I'm going, okay, yeah, and my brother Dave's going to help with some of the graphics. Jeff can do graphics and stuff. So we're all kind of working together. And I'm in charge of basically, I'm the guy that if you're interested, hit me up, man. I can make it happen, especially now. I'm a co-owner. So, hit me up and we'll talk, man. Well, if whatever your schedule is, maybe something you work nights, you can do a day show or whatever it is, but you just hit me up. You guys know me on social media, DJ Metal Mike, Mike Tyler. Just hit me up, man. And I'll be the guy that will hook you up and show you how it's done.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Hit him up on his Facebook page. We haven't recorded in a couple weeks. I went on vacation.
Yes, sir.
I went to a music festival and then I dropped, what was it, episode 2 on Memorial Day.
Yes, you did it like in between.
Yeah, because as we're recording now, I just dropped it today, which is when I want to drop the episodes, is on Wednesdays. I actually was going to drop it last night. I got home from work. I was exhausted. It was just one of those days where it wasn't heavy lifting. It was just a lot. And I was just tired. And you had asked us to reschedule.
Well, dude, because I got hammered Monday.
It's okay.
I was just like, oh, Bushy, please.
I had one more album to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And I was my plan was to come home yesterday and be like, okay, I'm going to listen to this today, and I'm going to get the episode up so that it's up ahead of time. And then I'll advertise it in the morning before I go to work. None of it happened.
Well, even
fell asleep in my recliner.
My life is so hectic at the moment, dude, that I had only listened to the first 2 albums. And even though I'm fairly familiar with these latest albums, I was like, I still want it. So I stayed up last night and I was so tired past my bedtime to do this, because it was that important to me. It's like, no, we gotta stay on the grind, man. Consistency. That's key. And another thing I want to add to anybody out here who wants to be a DJ at Cranium, you got to have passion and you got to be consistent. Now, I understand sometimes real life gets in the way. It does with us too, even with the podcast. And when that happens, there's going to be times where sometimes our DJs take leave of absences for a while, and that's all well and good, but you got to be consistent, man. If you want any kind of a following, and the thing is, even with a radio show, we've noticed, as great as Jeff is at programming, and he's very creative with programming, DJ Otto, as he calls him, it doesn't match live entertainment. We're wanting to get to a point maybe eventually where we got live DJs around the clock, and the bigger, more listeners we get, then we'll actually start making for money for real to where maybe we can eventually pay you guys for your time. But believe me, none of us, and Bushy can tell you that, right? When he did it, you're not doing it for the money. You're doing it because you fucking love the music and you want to spread it. Because here's the thing. When it comes to new music, sometimes it's going to be brand new, but sometimes it's going to be 30 years old, but it's going to be new to you. And if I can turn you on to something new, that means the world to me, man. And when I got people I know and respect that are telling me that, well, you're I really admire you, Mike. And and you're one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. I mean, that means the world to me, man, because to me, I actually had some of them refer to me as a professional. I don't feel like I'm a professional. All right. I'm just going to throw that out there. But I do appreciate it, guys. It means the world to
He's
us.
not a professional.
No, no, fuck no.
I
But
kid, I kid.
no, we're pathetically subjective, and that's
Yes.
what I love about us, man. But yeah, dude, I'm really excited about it. And the thing with this, even then, if you want to get a following, you want to get more listeners, you have to be consistent, man. And that's one thing where, people can say what they want about Mark Alden Taylor, our good friend from Freeform Rock Podcast and the BS sessions, but that motherfucker consistent, 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 and he's constantly
Yeah.
pumping shit.
Yeah.
So kudos to him, man. And I'll tell you what, I like the trinity he's got going now with him and Jerry and Mooger Fooger. It's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
And he has a really cool cast like us sometimes. So, and
Right.
other people, good friends like Travis Parada.
Yeah, and I see James West was just on there, which
Yeah, I love
that's me
James,
because that
man.
means I got to get
We
James
need
back on here. How dare he snipe James from me?
Mark don't give a fuck, man.
No, he will headhunt anybody.
But again, smart.
Yes.
Smart, man. I mean, yeah, you want people and I think it's just cool to see how his podcast has grown.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing really good, man. I've been binge listening to you guys, man, and I've enjoyed a lot of the episodes. Like right now, I just got done with their review of it, and they had Andy, our good friend Andy Rodriguez, on, and Travis Parada, and they did Elton John's "Goodbye to Yellow Brick Road."
Nice.
Really cool episode, man. And also, I like how they're just doing. It's not always record reviews. Like a while back, Mooger had Flavio on, Flavio Vargas, and they did the first several Metallica albums, and they matched each album track by track, and kind of talked about not so much similar like, oh, they're cloning themselves. It wasn't like that. It was more like each album, each track. You could tell Metallica, especially back then, put a lot of thought into, like, think about it, dude. The opening track. Look at Ride the Lightning and look at Master of Puppets. You have Fight Fire with Fire and you have Battery. Just both fucking rip your face off opening, smack you in your ear hole tracks, right? That's by design. And then they compared each track, and I'm going, I never really thought about it like that before, but it's true. I mean, it was basically like a love letter to Fleming Rasmussen, which was the producer of. They didn't do Kill 'Em All because he didn't produce that album, but they did. They compared Ride, Masters, and Justice,
Nice.
and every one of them has like an epic closing track. Like look at Master Puppets, you got fucking Damage Incorporated, and Justice for All, you got Dyer's Eve. It's like you always had that. I don't know. It was a really cool episode. I enjoyed that. So yeah, man, they're on a roll, man.
That's awesome. We'll get there. I got to tell you something. I wasn't sure if I was going to bring it up on here, but you know what? I got to say it because people are going to notice a difference in how I speak anymore, and it's the weirdest thing. I'm still kind of trying to process it. When I was at this festival, it was the final night, and I'd been at the stage since like 5:45. You know what I mean? Because that's when Plum Hollow Band comes on, and that's when I like to get there because that from then on is who I really care about seeing. Dirty Grass Soul closed out the night. For you, those of you that don't know, Plum Hollow Band is kind of a alternative bluegrass type band. They do dabble in some heavier stuff, but I'm going to have the singer of that band on here with us, so I don't want to get too much into them. There's a guy, James Radford Band. I think he's one of the greatest guitarists that shows up here. The man should be playing metal. I said that to him at a previous festival. He said, "No worries, brother. I'll warm up to Motorhead and Slayer." Fair enough. Okay. There's another band called the Piedmont Boys. I could take them or leave them. A lot of people like them. That's great. They're a little more traditional country, and I don't dig it, but that's me. So don't hate on me for that, guys. Then, of course, Dirty Grass Soul's coming on. Now, before Dirty Grass Soul's coming on, I got this guy tapping me on the shoulder, and he's like 3 or 4 inches taller than me. And Metal Mike, I'm not a short guy.
No, you're well over 6 foot, aren't you?
I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
So this guy, he's like, "Hey, I've got some special guests coming down. You're going to have to move." Well, at this point, I'm like, dude, I've been standing here for 3, 4 hours. You can kick rocks, is what I'm thinking. Well, when he taps me on the shoulder because Dirty Grass Soul's coming on, I kind of turn and I notice there's an empty space right behind me. And it's a older couple that I know. And I have known for several years, about 4 years, ever since I met Mindy. And not in great health anymore, especially the husband. And he's normally the guy that at his age, with his oxygen tank on him,
Oh, yeah.
he's
Okay.
always standing at the stage to watch Dirty Grass Soul. Well, he had presented them with some metalworking he had done. It was a miniature replica of the band with
Oh,
their
cool.
instruments and such. And of course, they thanked him profusely, showed it to the crowd and sent it backstage and thanked him profusely. And the singer started singing a song strictly to those two. Never mind, I don't know, the several hundred, if not 1,000 people that were there, just singing it to these two. And I'm watching these two, and they're just crying, staring at each other because it was one of those, for lack of a better term, sappy love, country love.
That's okay though, man. Yeah.
They're crying, looking at each other, and dude, didn't affect me at all. Oh, heart of stone, Bushy. But I was petting the guy on the shoulder, because he was upset. He's right beside me, and I know the guy, and they're thinking maybe he won't see another one. We don't know,
Yeah.
so I'm just kind of doing that. And well, then the band kicks into a live version of Glory Train, which is like an old spiritual. And normally when they're doing that song, there's this part where I forget how the lyrics go, but it's talking about I'll fly away, and I'm always horns up for that. And dude, between that and seeing Glenn, the pedal steel guitar player, come back, he has suffered a major, major heart attack. Almost didn't survive that. While he was in the hospital recovering from that, he got a major foot infection in his right leg. He amputated above the knee. He ended up coming back for this show. So we got Glory Train. We've got this gentleman back. And I don't know how else to explain it, but this wave of love and good emotion just washed over me. And instead of horns up, my palm went up. And that's something that I don't do. Everybody knows me. I'm not a God guy. I wasn't a God guy. For whatever reason, I honestly feel I was touched that night. I was crying uncontrollably. I had to go talk to the band and explain to them, look, sorry, it's nothing wrong. This is what happened. And of course, they all embraced me. And Jared was one of the guys I had spoken to, the guy that will be coming on as soon as we could set that up. He's like, man, you just made my weekend, So you're going to notice some changes in my speech. If you've been watching my Facebook feed for the last 2 weeks, since that festival, since let's call it Memorial Day, all the dirty jokes haven't been posted. I mean, a lot of things have just changed because Scribble's calling. I see things very differently. And I'm not going to ever speak on it again because I'm not going to make this show about that. But I wanted to say this is why you're going to see that change. You're going to see this change in how I speak. That's not to say I'm not going to slip up and cuss because, hell, I've been doing it for as long as I can remember. But hey, that was my week.
Son of a retired pipe fitter. So you know me, man. I'm
ex-military, ex-factory worker, well, current factory worker. Look.
And there's times when I've done it and I don't even realize I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Until somebody calls me out and then I'm like, oh, damn, I'm sorry. And then they'll go, you just did it again. Sorry.
Well, see, I've always been able to turn it off depending on my environment. Always.
I try, and sometimes I have succeeded, but I struggle with it. But,
right. This is supposed to be. Sorry, guys. I got Scribble messing with me here.
Oh, yeah. Didn't he know we were supposed to be recording tonight? I told him, Scribble, why don't you just come on, dude?
There, let me send that to him so he leaves us alone. But all right, all that aside, yes.
We love you, Scrib. We love you, man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I had a come to Jesus moment, literally.
And you know what?
Here's the best thing. I'm already baptized. I did that at 14 years old. So I've been saved. I just turned my back on it. They brought me back.
Hey, brother. I don't know if you know this, man, and I don't want to get into too big a details about it, but somebody else recently had I guess, a word, an epiphany, maybe whatever you
We
want to
spoke
call it.
about that earlier, and I don't know that we're going to blast him on here.
I'm not blasting him.
Okay. But I called him because I saw the songs that were coming up. Because for whatever reason, his particular advertisement was coming up in my feed a lot. I
Mhm.
actually called him and he's telling me all this. And I was like, it's not so far fetched. Guess what? And it's weird. It's weird. I don't have an explanation for it.
Hey, bro. I mean, life is mysterious, my friend. I don't
That's a
know,
fact.
And the thing with him though is, and we can talk about this off mic later if you want, or some other time. But yeah, I will go more into that. But hey, man, I mean, everybody has whatever works for you, man. At the end of the day, I just want people to be happy. I don't like whether it's Jesus or Buddha or whatever it is, man. If that's something that helps you, or whether you just believe in yourself, and we all have to have something. At the end of the day, man, we're all trying to get to the same place. It's just people are taking different roads to get there, man.
Exactly.
And that's all I'm going to say about it. Because I'm not the most spiritual person or most religious person, but there is one thing I passionately believe in just as much as freedom of speech, and that's freedom of religion. People have the right to believe in whatever it is they believe in, man. And you
Absolutely.
don't have the right to belittle them or put them down for it.
Well, and that's why I was never that agnostic atheist that would talk smack to people unless they try to throw stuff in my face.
Well, to me, those people are just as bad as any Bible thumper. It's like you're
Oh,
trying,
yeah.
those people try to shove religion down my throat, but you're trying to shove your beliefs down my
And
throat.
I'm going to
I don't
be
want to hear it, man.
and I'm going to be right in the middle. I'm not going to say yay or nay on any of it because I want to keep being me.
Right.
My relationship will be my relationship. So
Hey, man,
I
as the
wanted to
great
share that
Ronnie
with
James
people.
Dio said, the great Dio said, I don't have to go to a building to pray. I can
Yeah,
talk to God myself.
exactly.
So, there you go, man.
But all that aside, we are here to wrap up this Megadeth retrospective.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Yes, it has. Sorry, Scribble. We should have probably finished this a long time ago, but I am glad we found, and I want to do more retrospectives with more bands. Like, I think it's a lot of fun. It's kind of cool because you're kind of going into a deep dive.
Yeah,
There's a lot of bands, and you and I have this conversation all the time. Like, well, I'm not really familiar with this era. Well, I'm familiar with the early Sabbath stuff, but I don't know the later stuff with Ozzy, and I don't know. I think we should do more retrospectives on a
I
lot of different
agree.
bands,
I
man.
was thinking Zeppelin myself because I'm like,
But hey, I'm down. Let's do
I only
Zeppelin too.
I only know the first four albums.
Oh,
So,
let's do it, man.
oh, that's a lie. I know Houses of the Holy.
But
That's
I'm serious. Let's do that too. Let's do them
oh
all,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Hell, maybe we can get really ambitious and do deep dives on bands like the Stones, even. They got a lot of records. That would be a multi-part, and we'd probably have to take certain breaks. Like, okay, we're going to do what we could do, though. The best way to do it with the Stones, you have eras. You
Yeah,
could do the Brian Jones era, make those multi-part episodes, then do the Mick Taylor, which is the
good era.
best in my opinion. And then you got the Ron Wood era too, which has still got some good stuff. So
Yes,
I think that's the way we'd have to do it.
I don't disagree. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Megadeth. Now we have gone through. Oh boy, let's see. I had all these pulled up, and as luck would have it, it's not here and ready for me. Our first episode, we covered Killing is My Business, Business is Good, Peace Sells, So Far, So Good, So What, Rust in Peace. Episode 2, which just came out a few weeks ago, Countdown to Extinction, Euthanasia, Cryptic Writings, and the God Awful Risk. That,
Hey, I don't
that
know if you
almost
noticed,
fit me
Bushy,
in.
but when I promoted that show, the part two, I went back and
I
had
did.
links to part one because I was like, it's been so long. I didn't want any new listeners to be confused. Like, well, where the hell is part one?
Yeah,
Here's part one right
yeah.
at you.
I did
You
see
know,
that. And
yeah,
thank you. Good thinking.
yeah.
The episode that we just dropped today, as we're recording this, was The World Needs a Hero, The System Has Failed, United Abominations, and Endgame. And now we're moving on to 13, Super Collider, Dystopia, The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead. So what do you think? Should we just jump right into 13?
Let's do it, man. Yeah.
Let's do it. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
It doesn't matter to me, brother.
Yeah, I'll take it. Screw it. 2011's 13. This album was a little bit long for me. It clocks in at almost 58 minutes. But that's Dave Mustaine, Dave Ellefson returns, Chris Broderick, Sean Drover. It's a good lineup. It's a real good lineup.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
It's 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 a good album. I don't think it's a great album. You like go through the tracks real quick. Sudden Death is a decent opener. It's got an awesome intro, cool solos. Public Enemy #1. It's not bad. Kind of seems like it would have worked on Euthanasia. Whose Life Is It Anyway? This is okay. It's kind of a cool punk sounding song to me. We the People, I just dug that. Guns, Drugs, and Money, I like the riffs. Never Dead's cool intro, crunching riffs. New World Order was okay. I did dig all the instrumentals in that song a lot, much more than the vocal parts. Fast Lane, I don't really dig the flanger in the beginning that he's got hooked up to his guitar, but it's not a horrible song. Black Swan, I really like that one a lot. Wrecker, okay, to me that one was meh. I could skip that one. Some silly home wrecker song. Yeah.
I got a funny note about that. Go ahead.
Nice. Millennium of the Blind. I actually dig it, even though it's kind of a slow song. Deadly Nightshade, I didn't like it all. It did nothing for me. 13, I thought was a weird closer, but I dug that one as well. Nothing really jumped out at me as amazing though.
Okay. Sudden Death, good opening track with a killer guitar work. I mean, that's one thing though. Even Megadeth, and I want to give a shout out to because I know sometimes I'm very critical of certain eras of Metallica, but the one thing I will always give Metallica credit for, same as Megadeth, even if it's a record I don't really like, I like the guitar solos to a lot of those songs, if that makes any sense. Like I'm like, well, that's a pretty sweet guitar solo, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or wow, it's like
Well, it's
because you know
insane.
me, Bushy, I've always been capable of isolating certain things, even on records I don't like. Like I've mentioned it before. I don't really like Crazy Nights, but Paul Stanley sings his fucking ass off on that record. You know what I'm saying?
Here. Yeah, I feel you.
I can isolate stuff, and there's times where even with some of the Megadeth albums I wasn't really big on, like Euthanasia, uh, you know, Cryptic Writings, but I'd go, man, that's a really sweet guitar solo, or I really like what they're doing there. So I can't totally crap on it.
Right.
Even it hurts me to say Risk. I'm going, it's played well. You cannot bag on the musicianship, especially with the band like Megadeth, I mean, you just can't. I mean, I will never, but then maybe I feel that way because I'm not really a musician. I can't play shit, you know, ever. So it's like, all I can say is with any band or artist, it either grabs me or it doesn't. I like the opening track. I thought it was a decent opening track. It didn't like smack me in the ear hole, but I really like the intro, like you pointed out.
Yeah.
Public Enemy #1. You know what? I kind of dug this song though. It's not thrash, but it was very cool. Just a really infectiously catchy song. Could definitely, I think, fit on maybe Euthanasia or
Yeah, that's what I
even
said.
maybe Countdown. Like that era of Megadeth. And I think this album's kind of a patchwork of that. Um, Track 3, Whose Life Is It Anyway? I got to be honest with you. Awesome guitar solo, but it didn't really grab me. It was okay. Um, Track 4, We the People. Honestly, I thought this was kind of weak. And I'll tell you why. I was thinking it's not horrible. I'm not bagging on it. But I was expecting a really angry, thrashy song because with a title with a name like that for a song, I'm like, We the People, man, this is gonna. It wasn't what I expected. I expected a much angrier, aggressive track. Track 5, Guns, Drugs, and Money. I dug that song. I thought it was pretty cool. Track 6, Never Dead. This was my favorite track off the album. I thought it was fucking badass, man. And very thrashy. New World Order starts off with a strange progression, but not a bad tune. Fast Lane, I liked it. Black Swan, I know this is going to sound weird, but I dug this track. It was weird as hell,
Thank
but
you.
I liked it. I
Yeah,
liked it. It was different. It was different, but I don't know, man. I really dig this track as well. Weird, but I liked it. Wrecker, I didn't know Dave Mustaine knew my ex. Um, Track 11, Millennium of the Blind. Awesome guitar intro. Just a very cool, almost trying to find the word. It had a really cool vibe, like almost like it enveloped you, like ethereal, if that makes any sense. I don't know, maybe I'm talking on my ass. Deadly Nightshade, very weird track, but I kind of dug it, if that makes any sense.
nice.
And 13, not a bad closing track. This is a B. This is a solid B, maybe a B minus. I mean, it's definitely a step down from Endgame to me. Like Endgame was amazing. And I think that with that block of albums, you got World Needs a Hero, which wasn't that great, but anything after Risk is going to look like a masterpiece, in my
Right.
opinion. But
Yes.
and of course they get Chris Bolan, and even though he's not a member, he's just a session musician, but they get him back for The System Has Failed. And then you had United Abominations. Again, it was a step up. And then finally you get, you know, Endgame, which I think I put that right up there with some of the classic Megadeth albums. It's that fucking good.
Yeah,
I
it
mean, my
really
opinion,
was.
Endgame gives even the last couple of Megadeth albums, as well as their classic stuff, a run for their money. It's that good of a record. So I could see why, even though this album did very well for Megadeth, it was successful. It was still metal. It's still heavy. Um, Not quite the departure that the next record becomes.
Well, go ahead and talk about that one.
All right, we have Super Collider, and this album is a bit divisive among the Megadeth fans. Um, there's some people that just absolutely hate it, think it's the worst thing they've recorded since Risk. Some people love it. Um, I know that they have David Drainman of Disturbed does a song, yeah, vocals, Dance in the Rain. And I know that like some people felt like the opening track, Kingmaker, was probably the best song on the album. I put not a bad opening track. I've had better opening tracks by this band, but I've heard worse. Killer guitar soloing though. Holy shit, man. That's one thing you can always count on Dave and whoever he's got as the other guitarist, just fucking shredding, dude. You know what I mean? Super Collider. What in the actual fuck is this? Uh, Track 3, Burn. Can I burn this? Track 4, Built for War, doesn't really do much for me. Didn't hate it, but it doesn't. Track 5, Off the Edge. What is this AOR shit? Track 6 is, I don't care. Okay, this is what I got. This album's pretty forgettable. It's not as bad as Risk. It's not. I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be, but it's not great either for me. It's pretty fucking lame. I do like their Thin Lizzy cover. Um, that's from my favorite album of Thin Lizzy's, Thunder and Lightning. And then I wrote even though it's got a weird, there's a bonus track, A House Divided. It's got a synthesizer intro, which is very jarring to me. I mean, I don't hate synthesizers or keyboards, but on a thrash metal record or thrash,
Yeah, I
but
didn't
with
even
that being
listen to the
said,
bonus track.
A House Divided, I felt was better than anything else on the record. So why that was a fucking bonus track, I don't know. But that's my thoughts on Super Collider. So I'm going to be interested to hear what you think. Do you agree or am I wrong?
Well, I'm going to be bushy. From 2013, I like the runtime, 45 minutes, 14 seconds.
Oh yeah, I like the fact
That's
that the songs were short.
that's minus the bonus track that I didn't hear. Kingmaker, same thing. I thought that was a real cool opening track. Super Collider, I dug it. I shouldn't, but I do. It's very un Megadeth, but it's a great.
Yes.
Burn just sucks. Burn,
Thank you.
baby, burn. It's dumb. Built for War starts great. I could do without the gang vocals. That was kind of weird for me, but it was an okay song. Off the Edge. not good. It's just not good. Solo's great. I pulled a Metal Mike.
Yeah, I mean that's my whole complaint with Super Collider. I hear some of the solos, I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. But like I said, I felt that way about some of the, like people can kind of bitch about Kirk Hammett and his, he was use the wah wah. But even though I'm not a big fan of Load and Reload or some of those albums, I go, well, that's a pretty nice guitar solo. Even on the Black Album, on some of the songs I'm not big on.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Sad But True, amazing riff, killer riff. But my God, is it monotonous? But man, that guitar solo Kirk plays pretty sweet, man. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'll give props where they're due, even if it's something I'm not a huge fan of. But this album, man, Bushy, I don't know. Keep going though, dude.
I'm gonna because Dance in the Rain with David Draymond. My notes say, man, I really like this track. It's intricate, got amazing arrangements. I freaking loved it. This, now see, if they were going to be experimental like they were on Risk, this is the way they should have done it, not like they did it on Risk. But
I
then,
would agree with that.
then you
I that's not a bad song. I shouldn't have dismissed it. It was just that by halfway through the album, I'm just like, oh, can we fucking end this already?
I
And
feel
I'm not a Disturbed hater either. My nephew Christopher, aka Kane, loves Disturbed, man. But I get it because at the age he's at, that band was
there's a
totally in
lot of
his.
those cool bands that are just cool for guys our age to hate. I hated on Five Finger Death Punch forever because all I ever heard on the radio was cover songs. Okay, so I liked Bad Company, but House of the Rising Sun was garbage. But then you listen to an album and it's like, wait, these guys don't mess around. They're heavy.
No, they're.
Plus,
I
the
don't
lead singer
understand. I
is a
don't
big
really
proponent.
understand why that band gets the hate. I mean, now granted, they're not in my top 10 or whatever, but I don't think they're that bad. And the interesting thing about Five Finger Death Punch, when I first heard them, because I would buy albums. Sometimes I just try them out, and I bought the first two Five Finger Death Punch albums because I liked the first one. But I got to be honest, when I first heard it, I'm like, well, no points for originality. I felt like it was kind of watered down Pantera. And I kind of tuned out after the second album, but my nephew stayed a fan, and he was the one later who told me, he's like, Uncle Mike, you really need to check out some of their later stuff because they're not really a Pantera clone anymore. And it makes sense to me why Kane likes those later albums is because it's very I don't classify Five Finger Death Punch as a power metal band, but they got some power metal elements to their music. And one thing is I know they're very supportive of the military, and they'll do a lot of what I call rah-rah songs, which is nothing wrong with that
I
because
like those
power
guys.
metal is
Slow
very
down,
much
breathe.
rah-rah. I mean, they really ought to call power metal rah-rah metal, really, if we're going to get technical about it. But my point that I'm trying to make is, and one of the coolest things I ever saw was this film footage where they were somewhere in the Middle East entertaining the troops, and they're doing that song, No One Gets Left Behind. And every time he sees No One Gets Left Behind, the fucking Marines are like, in the crowd. Bushy, it was fucking badass. Okay.
That's
And
great.
when I seen them live with Megadeth, I walked away going, wow, they were pretty fucking good, man. I mean, I got to be honest, I mean, you know me, I'm not, so I don't understand why so many of my friends and contemporaries just literally hate on them. And I'm going, to me, there's a lot worse fucking bands, guys. And here's my thing about it, guys. Even if it's a band I'm not that huge on Avenged Sevenfold. I don't hate them though. You are. But my point is they're keeping the metal flag flying for the younger people. Isn't that a good thing? Most of these guys that listen, these bands are going to get into other bands. They're going to get into the older bands because they're going to read interviews and they're going to be like, oh, these guys' heroes was Metallica or Megadeth. Or they're going to check that. But they're also going to check out heavier music. It's kind of like the dark side of the force. Once you start down the path, forever will it dominate your destiny. Well, that's what metal does, man. I mean, even you, dude, you've gotten because of liquid metal and your ears have gotten, you're like, hey, man, this shit that I wouldn't have fucking given a chance to, this ain't fucking bad. I kind of like this. I'm digging this.
Oh yeah, you could have never got me to listen to Cookie Monster. Now I listen to a lot of Cookie Monster.
Right. You're just like, fuck yeah, man. Again, and I feel I mean, I know a guy, his gateway band. Now, his older brother was into the Pantera and the thrash metal. But his younger brother got into Korn. Now, it's not that he didn't, It's not that Matt didn't love the earlier stuff. I mean, he, obviously with his brother and his dad, he knew who Sabbath was and Pantera, but Korn became his band. I mean, he even had the new metal look and everything. That guy's like all into technical, brutal death metal, all kinds of really heavy, heavy shit. But Korn was his gateway band. That was his band, just like Kiss was ours. Okay, at a point in time, and Kiss will always be an important band to me, no matter what happens or what they do. I'm not a big fan of Scab Kiss, and I don't like a lot of what they're doing now. But I'm with Ralph Vieira. Nothing will taint what they did from 1974 to 1978 to me, to that little boy, to that's still here. Nothing will ever taint that to me, man. When they were at the top of their game, they were one of the fucking best to ever do it. You can't take that away from them, man. End of the fucking Kiss discussion. Back to Megadeth.
Track 7, Beginning of Sorrow. You gave me number 6, Dance in the Rain. It was great. And then you give me this great music, but man, what a crappy song. The Blackest Crow.
What was the song called again?
Beginning of Sorrow.
Yeah. It was the beginning, the middle, and the end of sorrow for me. It was total sorrow.
The Blackest Crow. This one messed with me because I'm like, country bluegrass Megadeth.
Yeah.
I said it was weird. But for me, it was surprisingly a great song. In fact, it's a standout track for me. I would recommend anybody go and listen to this song. Forget to Remember. I should hate it, but I dig the hell out of it. It's like if Megadeth was a glam metal band. I dug the hell out of it.
You just made me throw up in my fucking mouth, dude. Maybe that's why I don't like it, because I'm just like, what is this? What is this, man? Like, I kind of had a reaction to this album that I originally had with Euthanasia.
Nice. No, I liked it.
But
for the most part.
I know, again, it's one of those divisive albums. Some people liked it, like our good friend Travis. I don't think that record's as bad as many of the Megadeth fans make it out to be. Travis,
I agree.
I love you, man, but it wasn't that good. Is it Risk? Fuck to the no. To me, Risk will always be like the bottom. Like, that's as bad as Megadeth could ever get. And compared to Risk, Super Collider's a masterpiece. But that ain't saying much, guys. Like, it's again, call me that get off my lawn guy or whatever you want to call it, but I want my Megadeth angry and vicious. And I didn't get that with this record, and that's all I'm saying. Now, Dave is a great enough songwriter and a great enough musician that he could probably do a goddamn fucking, pop album and pull it off. But it's not what I want from Dave Mustaine. And maybe that makes me close-minded, but and I'm not saying every song has to be a million miles an hour. It don't. I thought 13 was a pretty decent record. So there you go. It's not like fucking Countdown to Extinction's this brutal thrash record. It's not, but I love it. So there you go, man.
Yeah, we got 2 more tracks on here. Don't Turn Your Back. I really, really dug that bluesy intro. And the song's really thrashy once the guitars start crunching. Lyrically, it's lacking. And that bothers me. It's sung well, but
the lyrics are fucking terrible, though.
Yeah,
dude.
it's just
in fact, the lyrics on this album are not that good, man. That was one of my complaints about it. I'm like, Dave, what are you even talking about here? Because I've always thought Mustaine was a great lyricist.
Agreed.
Especially those older albums, man. But even some of the shit he sings about in these last couple of records, I'm like, holy fuck, that's a badass lyric, Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Super Collider, super fucking turd, as far as I'm concerned.
I dig most of it. Cold Sweat, the Thin
Of course you
cover.
do.
I don't know the original song.
Maybe they should have done it. You probably would have loved it more if they'd done a cover of Just a Boy.
Would have been great. Thrash it up a little bit.
Oh.
I don't know the original Thin Lizzy song, but this version.
Oh,
so I don't.
Dude, that fucking song. You need to listen to Thunder and Lightning. That's a band. Because I've gotten, and again, it's because of that metal show and because of the internet, I've gotten more into Thin Lizzy. I've gotten a lot more familiar with their discography, but there's still a lot of records that I don't know them front to back. That's a band that I would love for us to one day do a retrospective, but obviously it'd have to be multiple parts because Thin Lizzy had a lot of
Yeah, they
fucking
had a
records.
lot of albums. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Uh,
I like them a lot, man. And that one's their heaviest record, Thunder and Lightning, but it had John Sykes as the other guitar player. So
nice.
yeah, yeah, man, that one fucking yeah, the Thin Lizzy cover, it's the best song on the album. Anyway, go
It
ahead.
definitely crushed. But like I said, it's a weird album for Megadeth. It's definitely not Risk. I think it's better than 13, personally. Um,
What?
but that's
And
just
the
because it's,
really?
yeah, it's just, look, I like a lot of different kinds of music, and this album kind of hit on all of them. Now, there was times it was a complete disaster, but there's times that it worked for me. So mostly I dig it.
All right, man.
But we move on to
I
Dystopia
guess I'm that
2016.
curmudgeon old guy. I don't
You
know.
are, it's okay.
Fuck you, dude.
Again, not a super long album, 46 minutes, just shy of 47. This is the album that brought me back to Megadeth. I had
Me
given
too,
up.
bro.
I hadn't listened to them except for the old school stuff. This is with Kiko on guitar, Chris Adler on drums.
Of Lamb of
Last
God. Well,
album,
no
Alice
longer
in
Lamb of
Chains.
God, but he was with Lamb of God at the time.
Yeah. Um, Boy, this Threat is Real. What a banger. This is how a Megadeth album should start. Dystopia, another banger, very Rust in Peace sounding. Fatal Illusion, just killer. I mean, these are songs I could make one word notes for. Death from Within, great. Bullet to the Brain, it's an okay song. It's kind of cryptic writing sounding. Uh, for me, it was one of the weaker on the album. Post American World, love it. It's very peace sells. Poisonous Shadows, epic. Conquer or Die, it's an instrumental. Come on, when you get an instrumental out of Megadeth, out of Dave, dude, I am down. I am there. Lying in State, what a banger. The Emperor, it's a banger. Foreign Policy, it's a Fear cover. I've never heard that song. So I wrote in here again. I don't know the original, but it's a banger. It's a very political, thrash-tastic album. Like I said, it brought me back to Megadeth. This is the writing that I liked. As much as I like Super Collider, the writing's not great. This is how a Megadeth album should sound, much like Endgame, much like Rust and everything before. you know. So, what do you think of Dystopia? As if we're not going to sing praises to this album.
All right. Basically, same with you, dude. I tuned out. I kind of tuned out when I heard Euthanasia, and then I would hear like certain songs from Crypto. I'm like, what is this? This is not my Megadeth. And I kind of gave up on it. So much so that we've already talked about this. I didn't pay attention to uh the system has failed or United Abominations or fucking Endgame. I'm sorry that I didn't, but I was pissed at them. I was just done. And I was very like, and I was the same way with Metallica, man. I was like, who cares? Okay. I'm listening to this. I'm not even paying attention. I mean, I love Dave and I always will, but yeah, I was just like I was that guy. Get off my lawn. Force 4 Megadeth albums. Get the fuck away from me. I was that guy, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Like you're still that guy with this band. Yo, first two to get off my lawn.
yes, I will always be that way with them because they're so overrated. And in fact, I'm wondering if they really recorded "Shout at the Devil" or if they had help. I'm very suspicious about that, but that's a whole other story. Bush like, make fun of my favorite band, Metal Mike. Anyway, I mean, yeah. Who did Dave mention was a great guitar player and a shredder? Oh yeah, Warren D. Martini. Anyway, moving on. Uh, I love this record. I'm
So
just
Mike
like you.
has
This
his
album brought me
tinfoil
back. The
hat on.
first time I heard "The Threat Is Real," because that was the first single, I was like, "Oh my God, Megadeth is back." Dave wasn't because Dave said, because he got some backlash from Super Collider. He goes, "Y'all, old school and new school Megadeth are gonna like this next record." He wasn't bullshitting. He was motivated for whatever reason. I don't know, something. But I also think at the time, you got to remember he was fighting cancer. And when you're facing something like that, and you're getting older anyway, like we all are, you get to a point in your life where you realize, man, the years ahead are fewer than the ones behind. And I think Dave was like, I'm gonna show all these young punks that I'm fucking Mega Dave and I can still thrash with the best of them. And he did with this album. I mean, first of all, killer opener, just a total smack in the ear hole. And I'm like, oh my God. And then and I had the same reaction when I heard Metallica's Hardwired to Self-Destruct, and I went, Dave lit an ass under your fire, didn't he, guys? I still say that. I don't care what anybody says. Anyway, track 2, Dystopia, cool title track. Just again, keep them coming. Um, Fatal Illusion, another winner as far as I'm concerned. I dug this song. Track 4, Death Was From Within. I'm kind of repeating myself at this point. You know what I'm saying? Track 5, Bullet to the Brain. Another cool track. I dug that one too. Post American World, one of my favorite songs on the album. I like all the songs on this record, by the way. Spoiler.
Guitar work on Post America World is just ridiculous.
And not only that, lyrically, if you don't like where we're going, like, or if you don't like where you're not gonna like where we're going. I love Post American World. Track 7, Poison and Shadows. Love this dark, melancholic track, man. It's kind of like my darkest hour for this album. I feel I put it up there with that.
Nice.
Track 8,
agree.
Conquer or Die. Oh my God, I fucking jizzed on the acoustical intro. Amazing instrumental, and nobody in the thrash metal world does better instrumentals than Megadeth. Metallica did when they had Cliff Burton in the band, though. I mean, I still love Orion. It's probably one of my all-time favorite thrash, but man, I mean, fuck. Megadeth, Into the Lawns of Hell. I mean, there's just so many great Megadeth instrumentals over the years. Love, love, love Conquer or Die. Lying in State, standout track on the album. This is my favorite track on the album. I love Lying in State. First time I heard it, even when I listened to the album, I'm like, holy shit. Track 10, The Emperor. It's my least favorite track, but goddamn, I still fucking love it, man. And then, of course, we have the cool cover of Fear, Lee Veen's band, Foreign Policy. It's fucking masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. It's a modern thrash masterpiece. It's a thrasher piece. I love Dystopia, man.
Same. Take us into the final album before the album they're supposed to release.
All right, man. 2022, right?
Yes.
Sick. The Dying and the Dead. Now, originally David Ellison was supposed to do the bass on this.
He originally did. It all got wiped.
And it got wiped, man, because of what happened. And that sucks. I hate that because I love Dave. I'm a huge David Ellison fan. It's funny, though. He was just in an interview where people are like, he said, don't feel sorry for me. I'm like, that dude's made so much money. Plus, he's got all these other, like, he has his own fucking coffee company, man. The man's like an entrepreneur. He's doing just fine.
Yeah,
bro.
he's fine.
I would like to see him get, instead of doing this Legends of Thrash shit where it's like you're doing Megadeth sounds with guys that were Megadeth rejects. Dave, just form a fucking kick-ass band, Mr. Ellison. Or join up with like when you joined up with Max Cavalera Soulfly. Do something cool like that. Do a super group, man. Fucking fresh.
Yeah.
I love you, David. Love you too, Mr. Mustang. Anyway, let's Sick to Die in Dead. Very cool opening track. Love it.
Bring out your dead.
I love that. I love that, man. Well, because my brother makes that intro to, how I have the what we call sound beds in the internet radio business. You have music playing in the background. And a lot of times we'll just use instrumentals, change the metadata and use that. But my brother, being the creative guy and the editing geniuses he made like he would take a bunch of different Sabbath songs and kind of edit them and put them all together to where it was one really like 15-minute, 20-minute track. But he'd always do these cool intros. And one of them, of course, was it's the intro to Black Sabbath where you hear the bell and the storming. But he had the whole thing with Monty Python. Prenup, you dead? No, dead. Yes, you are. That whole thing. And then it goes into you're listening to the Metal Mike show, which, I love you, big brother. Thank you for doing that. And then there's the other one where he's got Boris Karloff from the movie. Come closer, please. I have something to tell you. this is Black Sabbath. And he slows it down, makes it sound all fucking evil.
Nice.
And then, of course, you hear Ozzy in the background. Oh, no. And then I get right on the mic and do my thing, man. But yes, love Sick and the Dying Dead. Life in Hell, just another killer track, man. Night Stalkers, another winner. Um, and then I put and I thought Night Stalkers, even I know some people were put off with the Ice-T stuff. I liked it. I love that song. I thought Night Stalkers was badass. Track 4, Dogs at Chernobyl, fucking epic. Just fucking epic, in my opinion. Sacrifice, Killer Filler, Junkie. I keep repeating myself. Psychopathy, cool instrumental. Killing Time. This album just doesn't let the fuck up. Soldier On, another fucking banger. So Celebutante, Killer Filler. Mission to Mars, cool song, but my least favorite. And then the best track on the album, in my opinion, fucking rules. We'll Be Back. And then of course we had the Police Truck, I believe, right? Which is Dead Kennedy's cover.
Ed Kennedy's cover.
And then, of course, Sammy Hagar, This Planet's on Fire, Burn in Hell, which has Sammy on it, which I thought was a cool cover, man. You know, I've always thought, for the most part, Megadeth's always done good covers. I know they got a lot of flack for Anarchy in the UK. And don't get me wrong, I got really burned out on it because MTV just played the fuck out of that video on Headbangers Ball all the time.
Yeah.
But I still think that it's not a bad cover. And one thing that's cool about Dave is whenever he does a cover, usually he'll get the original artist to come. He did it with the Sex Pistols. He had the guy from Sex Pistols. I like that. I think that's cool.
Sweet.
I love Dystopia. Another fucking Thrasher piece, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Sick, Dying, Dead. It's just as good. It might even be better than Dystopia. That's saying something. But it's hard for me to pick, man. It's like, I just love the fact that I live in a world where I can love both, man. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Dave, you've been doing great here. Don't drop the ball, buddy. Come on, bro. You're Dave Mustaine, dude. Don't let me down.
What I read is he said it was going to be like the first 5 Megadeth albums. So that gives you something to look forward to.
Oh, my dick is hard.
Yeah.
My dick is hard. If he's serious about that, oh my, because that's the creme de la creme. That's Megadeth at the top of their fucking game. So if that's what he's shooting for, hell to the yeah, man. Because man. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the Sick, the Dying?
I'm going to just mirror you. Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. I think it's a great opening track. I dig it. Life in Hell is just a banger, dude. It's like you're doing this one thing, and the Sick and the Dying and the Dead. It's a mid tempo to high tempo, but Life in Hell kicks you in the nuts. Night Stalkers with Ice-T. Look, I'm a long time Ice-T fan since way back when he was doing his gangster raps.
The Rhyme Syndicate. I was a fan of his rap group, the Rhyme Syndicate. It was Ice-T in the Rhyme Syndicate, and then he did Body Count, which was his metal band, and that ruled.
Hell yeah. So that song's just badass. Dog of Chernobyl, it is still my favorite track on the album. So look, all you guys that were saying, oh, we'll go revisit the Sick, the Dying, and the Dead in a year because 72 seasons is better. First of all, we don't have to compare the two. Second of all, let me tell you how many times I've listened to 72 seasons since the first time. I've listened to several times.
I've listened to 72 seasons like a couple of times. Like there are some tracks on that album I like.
There's 5.
But for me,
Hardwired is better.
Yeah. Oh, hands down better. And I love you, Mark Alden Taylor, but he made 72 seasons his best album of the year. Bro, really? Of the year? I don't know, man. I have a problem with that, dude. I mean,
I might let Lux Eterna slide as Song of the Year.
No, I won't even go that far. Don't get me wrong, it's a good song, dude.
I said I might.
I mean, if you go through all the albums that came out that year, I'm sorry, dude, but no, this album's better.
Oh, way better.
Shit's all over it. Shit's all over it. I know that's not the popular thing to say because let's be honest, Metallica has, I don't know, man. They got this weird knack that it's like no matter what they do, people just lap it the fuck up, man.
Yeah, it's gold.
I mean, you know what? I know this is going to piss some of you guys off. Mark Alden Taylor. But I agree with Ian. I think people sometimes give Metallica a pass because it's the mighty Metallica. I mean, it's like people are making a big deal out of some of the comments he made on his recent interview, which by the way, it's really good if you watched it.
No, I
He
haven't.
discusses his entire life. Metallica is literally like a 10 or 15-minute conversation.
And it was only because he was asked, right?
Right. And Dave's just honest, man. But people made such a fucking big deal about it, man. And I'm going, guys, okay, here's my thing, because Mark posted thing, and I know part of it's like he always I like people to have discussions, and boy, did we. And it wasn't hateful or anything on my part. I think you went on it, but it was this thing where Dave claimed he wrote this and that, and you know, you got the Metallica guys disparate, you know. Here's the thing about it. Number one, both sides have been guilty of disparaging the other's contributions, and they need to stop. Number two, and I include Kirk Hammett. These guys are the fathers of thrash. Kirk Hammett was a founding member of Exodus.
Exodus.
Exodus is one of the most underrated thrash metal bands of all time, in my opinion, man.
Don't disagree.
And one of the greatest to ever strap on a guitar. They just didn't get the accolades, but they deserve, in my opinion. With that being said, those guys, including Dave Mustaine, and you know, look, cold hard facts, guys. Dave Mustaine affected 3 of the bands out of the big 4. Okay, you can't debate that. You can't debate that. Yes, he is one of the founding fathers of thrash. What he did with Metallica, and then he goes on and forms Megadeth, which in my opinion is one of the greatest bands, right? I mean, I don't understand this. I mean, it's fine if you like Metallica better than Megadeth. I'm not saying that you're wrong or that you can't. I mean, it's hard for me to pick sometimes, especially the early Metallica, man. I mean, the Cliff Burton era. But let's be honest with ourselves, because you have that what if, which I would love to do another what if. What if Metallica hadn't kicked Dave out? What would happen? I'll tell you, short synopsis. They would have fucking imploded.
Loaded. Yeah.
They would have imploded. Way too many alpha males in that band, guys. Too many alpha dogs.
Yeah.
With Cliff, fucking Dave, James, and Lars, are you kidding me, man? They wouldn't have lasted. So thank the metal gods, even though it was kind of fucked up the way the guys in Metallica did what they did. And for the longest time, I thought, man, it's harsh and heartless, until Dave told the story. And he's like, he's literally driving me to the bus stop, and he's just literally, no second chance, James. Like, what the fuck? And he goes, but James doesn't say a word, but literally tears were streaming down his face. So that told me right there that that wasn't an easy decision for those guys to make, you know. And as far as, you know, them, oh, well, no food. Well, fuck, Metallica didn't have any money. Nobody had any money. So it was a shitty situation, no doubt. But it was the best thing that happened. We got 2 amazing bands out of it, man. And to me, thank the metal gods, there is a Metallica and a Megadeth. Even though I haven't loved everything those bands have done,
Agree.
they still have my love and respect, and always will. And to me, it's like, I don't understand why you got these I'm going to say it, tards that want to disparage one, because Megadeth's got them too. And
Yeah,
I'm just
both
like,
of
that's
those
fucking
bands.
stupid.
We all know I'm a bigger Death than Alaka fan. That's fine. That's fine.
But
But
you
both
love
of these bands,
Metallica, dude.
both of these bands, their first 4 albums, especially, I'll give it their first 5 for both of them. I know you're not a big fan of the Black Album, but
Can't deny its impact, though.
exactly.
I'd be a moron if I denied its impact.
Both of these bands, their first 5 records are some of the greatest metal albums ever recorded of all time. So,
dude, they became collectively, I mean, not just thrash metal, but metal. Like those 2 bands are very, very important and incredibly influential. Like, I'm sorry, my favorite thrash metal band for the last few years, and it's just because of their latest output has just been as great as any of their classic stuff. Death Angel. If you can't hear Megadeth and Metallica and Death Angel's music, especially Megadeth, the rhythm guitar playing, because the thing about what blew me away, because don't get me wrong, I think James is an incredible, one of the greatest rhythm guitar players. Even Megadeth says that. He is amazing.
He's so fast. And I remember a time when he never up picked. It was always down pick. And for your hand to be moving as fast as it is just on the downstroke.
I know.
Dude, that's impressive.
And dude, that crunch, like Phil Anselmo painters to that brilliant crunch, man. Dude, I have all the respect in the world for fucking James Hetfield. Love me some Papa Hetfield. So let's just throw that out there, guys. Um,
Yeah, we like both these bands. It doesn't matter if you like one
right.
better than the other. They both put out shit albums.
Yes.
In our
Here's the thing I'll give Megadeth, though, the edge over Metallica. They're more prolific. They've got 16 albums. Metallica only has 11. So, you know how we started out and did the first several ones where we compared and contrasted? We didn't do it by timeline because you can't. Megadeth came after Metallica,
yeah,
but we compared Killing Is My Business with Kill 'Em All. You can't keep doing that, though, because eventually
you run out of
Megadeth,
albums.
yeah, because Megadeth, there, whatever else you can say about Dave, he's very prolific, man. 16 studio albums. His 17th coming out sometime this year or early next year. I mean, fuck, are you kidding me, man? Where Metallica, man, they've kind of just slowed down, no pun intended, and they take their time, which I mean, again, it's look, these guys have made it to a level where they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
I don't have to like it. I could downright hate it, but it's not going to matter. It
No,
is
it's
their
still gonna
legacy is
sell.
assured.
Yeah.
They are part of the big four. They are, and that's huge. And I know some people want to fucking bitch about how Anthrax. Well, hey guys, like it or not, okay. I love Anthrax, but there's other thrash metal bands I like more. But they are part of the big four. It's about the four biggest bands of that subgenre, and they are number four, guys. Period. It's not even to me an opinion. It's a fact. It's science. I'm being objective here. I'm not telling you who I think the best thrash metal bands are. I'm telling you who the biggest ones are.
Right.
Okay. And to me, Dave Mustaine, man, I mean, his shit rubbed off on all those guys. And
Sure.
now, and Dave even said in the interview, and I might even give you a clip to play at the end of this fucking episode before you play your Megadeth song, where he basically says that those guys, though, went on and developed their own styles and did their own thing. But yeah, he affected three of the big four because Kerry King was in Megadeth for a minute.
Yeah.
And Kerry even said, well, why'd you join Megadeth? Because it was a chance for me to learn from the fucking master.
Right.
Like he has that much respect for Dave as a fucking guitar player. He said it blew him away how Dave will just play. He don't even look at what he's playing. He don't even look, man. Most guitarists will, no, man. Dave's like, he knew that fretboard so intimately that he's like, you know, yeah, dude. And I'm sorry, I love Kirk Hammett, but I think Kirk could be the first guy to tell you Dave's better. Dave is probably the greatest thrash metal guitarist ever. Period. I don't see how you can argue with it.
It's almost impossible to argue it. There may be people out there that people like better, but as far as technicality goes, I'm sorry. And that's why I think Marty Friedman works so well with the band.
Mm-hmm.
Because Marty Friedman is a technical genius.
Yes.
He just wanted to play stuff other than metal, which is fine. But you could really hear the intricacy in Mustaine's playing alongside Friedman's playing. The
Well,
dude,
let's be
amazing.
real. Most of the guitarists Dave has gotten in Megadeth are incredible. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
has Megadeth ever had a shitty guitarist?
I can't think of one.
I mean, Chris Poland was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the guy was a jazz guitarist. He's fucking amazing. He's still amazing. So, yeah, I mean, come on. Marty Friedman's fucking incredible. You know, I mean, how can you, again, I don't like everything Marty's ever done, but I would never go, well, man, that guy sucks. He can't fucking play.
Yeah.
You know, like, no, I'd be a fucking if I did, you
Right.
know, and I'm not, you know,
Let,
so
let me jump back into this.
yes, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I know how it is. I edit you, remember?
Dude, what I've been saying is fucking gold, though. You don't need to be editing none of this.
No, I'm probably gonna keep all this in.
I
Um,
mean, after all,
like I
people
said,
listen to my fucking meltdowns. Let's just keep it real.
this is true. Uh, like I said,
I'm
Gods of
kidding.
Chernobyl. It's still my favorite on the album.
Dude, you
Still
know what? I think it might be tied with my other one, which I told you will be back.
right,
My favorite. Yeah,
uh,
fucking amazing. Go ahead.
but it's still the best intro on the album.
Oh,
Just an amazing, epic,
dude.
amazing.
All I got, this is my critique, Bushy. Look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sacrifice. You said killer filler. I said great tune, one of the weaker songs on the album, but it's still amazing. Junkie is another great song. I think it's the second weakest on the album. Psychopathy, man, what a cool intro. What a cool song. Soldier On. Great tune with amazing guitar work.
You
Select
missed
Con.
Killing Time, dude.
I did miss.
Isn't Kill?
No, did I?
Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah.
It's track 8. What do you think of Killing Time?
Oh, I did miss that one. I liked that one too.
Remember what my note for that was? This album doesn't fucking let up. That's what
Yeah,
I.
it's just going, going, going. Soldier on. Another great tune with some killer guitars.
Another fucking banger.
Yep. Celebutant. It's a thrasher. It's amazing. Mission to Mars. It's a good song, but for me, this is my least favorite as well.
Mine too. So
Those,
we're on
those were
par.
my
Yeah.
exact notes. Good song, least favorite though.
Yep.
And then we'll be back. My notes say, "Come on, this closing track bangs. It's killer." Also the first single. So what a way to introduce the album is, but the closing track
Yes.
is absolutely great. Police Truck. Look, these bonus tracks. I am a diehard Dead Kennedys fan. I know Wadzilla liked to mess with me. He's like, "Hey, it's even better if you listen to the lyrics." Shut up. I like the lyrics too, even though I don't lean that way. But I think they did a great, a great job covering Police Truck. This Planet's on Fire, Burning Hell. Look, first of all, I'm a Sammy Hagar fan. Second of all, boy, they beat the hell out of this song. And I like the fact that Sammy took a whole verse. I was like, is that going to work? I don't know. I remember saying this in
Oh, it worked.
we reviewed it, but it worked. It's a great album altogether. But if you only go up to We'll Be Back, if you didn't get the album with the bonus tracks, you still got a masterpiece of a thrash album. I agree. I think it's better than Dystopia, but it's like by a hair.
By a pubic hair. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard. Here,
it's
bro. You know what? I'm gonna say these last 2 albums, too much metal for one hand. That's my rating. That's all I gotta say, man. And if Dave's saying that the next album's gonna be like the first 5 albums, my dick is hard. That's all I gotta say. I'm not trying to be vulgar, but hey.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. I do want to mention something real quick, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about Megadeth before we get out of here. I just want to let you guys know that we have partnered with a company. They are sponsoring us now. They are called Dubby. We have a link at the top of our Podbean page. It says, click here, use promo code The Plug Podcast, all caps, for 10% off. If you order from them, they give us a kickback. It helps us pay the bills here. They are an energy drink company, but the interesting thing about them is they use it's jitter free, it's crash free. There's no sugars, no artificial colors or dyes.
And I'm a diabetic,
Calories.
so that's music to my ears, man. I'm gonna try some of it.
And I got to tell you,
Now, is it because I saw some do you make the drink yourself? Is it like a powder and you
it
make
comes
it?
in a powder form, and look, these are their ingredients. They have full transparency on every tub. They sell it by the tub. You can also get a sample pack. But we're talking vitamin B3, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, vitamin C, L-taurine, tyrosine, glutamine, caffeine, and citrulline, and there's something they call neurofactor. And neurofactor is actually just a whole coffee fruit extract. They don't use just the bean; they use from the whole fruit. And the only thing that's weird this and all these other energy drinks is a taurine, but that's just an amino acid that boosts energy. So everything in here is healthy. There's no maltodextrin, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes, sugar, or any other BS. That is w.gg is how you find that. Go in there, order something, use our promo code. It'll help us out as well. We're excited to be partnering with them. I can't wait till I can get some in here. I took vacation, so my check's going to be small. I won't have anything for a few weeks if I'll make my order. But yeah, definitely help
I'm
us
gonna
out.
order some too,
Try it
man.
out.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And like I said, 10% off, and it helps us, gives us a kickback. So nothing wrong with that. Much like you guys used to do for rock and metal when you would order something off of Amazon using their link, do the same thing for us. We definitely
For real, man. And again, thank you guys for supporting us, man. I've been getting a lot of feedback. I think the listeners are digging what we're doing, and it means the world to both of us, man. So
absolutely.
and
Another thing I'm about to be doing is I know a print shop uh, through that festival. They print all the tie-dye shirts and things that they do for every festival. I'm working on getting prices. I'm going to print off some Plug Podcast t-shirts. It'll be logo on the back. When we build our shop, we'll add the pathetically subjective because I got to look at costs because I'm going to have to pay straight out of pocket for these.
Do you want my brother to make a graphic that says pathetically subjective?
Sure.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do, it'll be logo on the back. And then on the left breast, I'm going to have half of them with the Bushy profile pic that your brother made for us. And then the other half is going to be the Metal Mike show ones. And yes, I'm going to keep the Metal Mike show in it because I want to be able to advertise both your show and our podcast.
Well, thank you, brother.
Also, see, I got a lot of stuff to drop on these guys. I spoke with Metal Mike while I was at this festival, and we are going to start sponsoring the Plum Hollow Festival and Moonshiners reunion. Yes, it's a completely different crowd, but I had a few people, it wasn't a lot, but I had a few people come up to me at this alternative country and bluegrass festival to say that they like our show. They've been listening to us. So
awesome.
What that'll do is, A, if you ever decide to come down for one of these things, it's 3 or 4 nights of camping in the woods, it'll get you a free ticket because you get 2 free tickets when you sponsor. But it also puts our logo and information in their program that they hand out to everybody at the door and in all their advertisements.
Sweet.
So that helps us get out there, and it helps Miss Debbie and what she does down there at the Plum Hall.
And that's awesome. And here's the thing, man. Yes, obviously I am a metalhead, but I love all kinds of music, and anything I can do, anything we can do to help out. And I mean, yeah, music lovers, movie lovers, pop culture lovers, listen to the plug, man, because we kind of do it all.
We cover
mostly everything. Music, but we do talk about a lot of different things.
Yeah, when Superman comes out, we're going to come out and talk about that. I mean, it's going to happen because I plan on going to see it. I already told Mindy, baby, we're going to the movies July 11th or somewhere around there. I want to see this on the big screen, even after having
you had your reservations. Yeah,
I've seen the trailer. I like the trailer a lot more than I like the teasers. Yeah. There's still stuff that irritates me, but I'm open.
I gotta say, man, the one part I loved is when Lois was interviewing him, and just how I thought that actor, he reminded me so much of Christopher Reeve. And don't get me wrong, I love Henry Cavill. I think he made a great Superman.
Yeah, still my
but I feel like his Clark was kind of like his Superman, where I thought with David, same with Christopher Reeve, the way he would go from being Clark to Superman, like he'd even change his voice. Like when she says Superman, he just leans forward and goes, Miss Lane. His whole voice changed. Yeah. And then when they're talking and he starts getting irritated, he goes, people were going to die. I'm like, that's fucking Superman.
Man. Yeah. I got to say, even in that trailer, I enjoyed Crypto jumping out at that lady that was throwing something at him to knock her down. I was like, oh, okay. So it's not just a stupid dog that's going to drag.
No, he is Kryptonian, Bushy.
I know that. Crypto, okay.
Yeah, but
look, I'm telling you, if I have to watch this stupid dog fly too much, that's where I'm going to be like.
I don't know if he's going to be flying in this, because if you noticed, he didn't fly to Superman. He was running.
He was running.
So and I don't know.
That's the only reason I'm giving it a pass. Now, Superman, back when he was originally drawn at Thunk Up, I know Thunk's not a word, don't get at me. When that was originally created, could leap tall buildings in a single bound. Superman couldn't fly, so maybe they would take that route with Crypto.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like they are, because even in the fortress, when he attacks the engineer, because she's actually part of a super team called the Authority, and they're more like, think the Justice League, but more harsh with their methods. That's
more anti-hero.
Yes. And I like that part where he fucks her up, man. I'm like, yeah, because, man, dude, one of my favorite stories of Crypto is when this villain, who's a badass named Mongol, is fighting Superman, and Crypto does what any real dog would do, super powered or not. He rips Mongol's throat out. He almost kills him. Like, Superman is all like, I mean, there's blood, because to Crypto, it's like, you're trying to harm my master.
Yeah,
I'm going to end you, because that's what dogs do, man. If they think you are threatening their loved one, they're gonna fuck you up, man. They're not gonna mess around. And that was one of them. And Mongols just standing there with blood, like he's freaking out. And he just passes out. And Superman's like, Crypto, because he is, I mean, he's Superman, you don't, but yeah, Crypto was like, I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah. So we're of course going to cover movies. There might be times we cover television programs. We've done that
I mean, I
before.
wouldn't even mind maybe covering Fantastic Four, because I know some people are, and I've heard different things, but I will say this, at least I'm not thrilled that they've got a female Silver Surfer, even though I know she's based on an alternate Silver Surfer from the comics.
Right.
But with that being said, it is Galactus. It's like Galactus, and the Thane looks great. So I'm still willing to give it a chance, man.
I am too. I went back and watched the reboot Fantastic Four before this reboot of Fantastic Four, and I actually liked it a little more than I did the first time. I still think those first two cheesy ones with Jessica Alba and them, I still think they were good. I enjoyed those
They're
movies.
not that bad. They're not as bad as people make them out to be, but I
No,
don't think anybody's ever really got the FF right. Our good friend Vincent Kavanaugh's 100% on that. And he's very skeptical. And I get it, because let's be honest, Marvel's kind of been stumbling since, well, Endgame,
yeah,
really.
I just watched the new Captain America with Red
Yeah,
Hulk.
I heard it's not that great, man.
Man, it was garbage.
Yeah.
I just didn't dig it, and I wanted to dig it. I love Harrison Ford.
Well, I hear
Seeing
they
Red
just
Hulk was
ruined the
going to be
leader.
cool.
I hear they ruined the leader, and he's one of my favorite Hulk villains. Like, even though, like, they showed makeup and props of what they were gonna do, and he looked like the leader from the comics, but then they ended up changing it and making him look the way it's like, I don't know, man. Marvel. I mean, I did watch Thunderbolts, and I actually enjoyed it. What's funny is that movie critically did well, but in the box office, it didn't. They lost money. It was a
I
bomb,
haven't even
and
watched it yet. I'm
and
going
I
to have
think
to.
Marvel is kind of, I mean, I think there's two combinations. One, and that's one thing that Superman's going to have going against it, even though they're saying it's tracking to where it looks like it's going to be a big hit. I do think the time is right for a Superman movie. It's been a long time since we've had a Superman film. So I think people are excited. But I do think comic book movie and superhero fatigue is a very real thing, because if I'm getting tired of them and I'm a fucking fanboy who grew up on this stuff, well, what's Joe, what's, you know, Susie Q and Joe Blow thinking. You,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Your average Joe ain't, average
It's
Joe, they're
going
going
to
to be
need
like,
to be
ah.
special. I mean, remember, I was very skeptical about the Batman. I didn't want glittery vampire guy playing Batman, and
That was a good fucking movie, man. And the
blew
Penguin
me
series was
away.
fantastic
Yeah,
too.
blew me away. The Penguin series was amazing, and so I'm trying to keep my mind open to that. Maybe this Superman
And
movie.
I'm willing to give
Batman.
James Gunn a chance because of his track record. Like, I really enjoyed what he did with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and people have to understand something. He took a property that nobody but comic book dorks like myself knew anything about and made it a household name. You have to give him props for that, man. He did a great
Absolutely,
job. So
absolutely.
I'm like, hey, let's see what he does, man. It might suck. I don't know. If it does, they're going to be dead in the water, considering that this is supposed to be technically the jump start to
Yeah,
the DCU.
yeah. This is
And
the
I
DC
did you see
universe reboot.
did you see the trailer for the new Peacemaker season?
I have not.
They actually got the Green Lantern guy, Guy Gardner, and Hawk Girl or Hawk Woman in that trailer
No,
with Peacemaker. So yeah,
check that out.
and James Gunn did that. And the thing is, some people were like, oh, he's going to do a lot of dick and fart jokes, and I'm going, guys. Yes, he does that, but he didn't do that with Guardians of the Galaxy. He did that with Suicide Squad and um whole Peacemaker. He even said himself, when somebody said this isn't DC Comics about Peacemaker, and he made a post of all these different comic books that have been published by DC. He goes, DC is not all one thing. In fact, no comic book company is. And I agree with him. You can have different characters and different types of movies, and it's okay, folks. So I'm willing to give it a chance. I don't know. It might suck. My dad liked what he saw. He didn't like the fact that Crypto was all jumping on him when he was hurt, because he's like, Crypto's not fucking stupid. He wouldn't do that. He's not like a regular dog that just happens. I'm like, I know, Dad. I know. Yeah, Dad didn't like that. But other than that, he's liked what he saw. And keep in mind, my father loved Man of Steel too. So
Right.
he's a huge Superman fan, though. So that's his favorite character since he was a little boy.
And I certainly didn't mean to go into
The comic book vortex.
wormhole, yeah, because we want to wrap up this Megadeth thing. Um, First of all, big thanks to Scribble. It was a great idea. Uh, when we did the first one, we did it with Scribble. Man, that was a long episode, and then we lost the whole countdown to extinction part. By we, I mean me. Thank God I don't use that recording platform anymore because I was using Skype at the time. We've grown. Um, it was fun. It was fun because for me, I got to discover some albums I would have never listened to. I would have never gone back and listened to any of those records.
And that's why I think we need to keep
Yeah.
doing this, dude. We definitely need to do another retrospective. And I have a suggestion on who, but I'm going to talk about that when we get wrap up here.
Yeah, and I look forward to it. But yeah, I discovered some stuff that I had never heard. The only song in that whole span of albums after Risk, all I had heard was Head Crusher, and I knew I liked that song, and that was from the Big Four DVD that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But even hearing that banger of a song, then I didn't say, "Well, hey, let me go check out that record." Didn't even bother.
Right.
Same so big thanks to Scribble. I thoroughly enjoyed going through all these. I wish that the Hidden Treasures EP would have made the list. It didn't, but that's just all the singles they had released that were on soundtracks and such.
Yeah, that's why I didn't. It technically isn't a actual
An
album,
actual studio album, yeah.
But I mean, I'll tell you what my
if you're
favorite
looking
song
for
off
any of the
that Hidden
songs,
Treasures is that's fucking 99 Ways to Die.
right? See, for me,
Love that
Angry
track.
Again
I love Angry Again, but 99 Ways to Die, that's my
had a cool cover of Paranoid, had Anarchy, had all their covers, all their soundtrack songs were on that thing. So
No More Mr. Nice Guy, I believe, is on there too.
yep, that was a good one too. So yeah, I mean, I've had a good time going back. Sometimes it's been stressful, sometimes it's been downright difficult. It took me 3 or 4 times just to listen to Risk. And look, I listened to it in its entirety. And that'll probably be, I'm sorry, Dave, Mr. Mustaine. You're my favorite thrash metal guitar player, my favorite thrash metal band. I don't know what you were thinking. I'm sorry it didn't sell like you think it would have. I try to agree with you if it was somebody else, maybe, but maybe if it was a completely different band, not Dave Mustaine and company. Okay. I don't
It
know.
should have been a Dave Mustaine solo album. What's ironic, though, is apparently, from what I understand, The System Has Failed was supposed to be a solo Mustaine album. And I'm like, that's when he got thrashy again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Super Collider I'd have been okay with, being a Dave Mustaine solo album.
Exactly. That's if he's wanting to scratch that itch, that's what he needs to do. That's the best advice I give Dave. Like, dude,
Yeah, quit
and I
following
know he's
weird
gonna,
trends.
and I think the only reason why he doesn't Bushy is because again, the music business is the music business. He gets pressure to put that fucking Megadeth label on that motherfucker, no matter what. But if I'm Dave Mustaine, he needs to be like, fuck you, I'm Dave Mustaine. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. This is a fucking solo album. Because I'd probably be able to handle Super Collider better and even Risk if I'm like, okay, this isn't Megadeth. This is Dave solo. This is him doing something else. Cool. Fair enough, man. It's like whether you like it or not. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Gene Simmons solo album, but I get what he was trying to do. He's like, this ain't Kiss record, it's Gene Simmons record.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like whatever.
You're talking about the 78, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the 78.
Yeah, it was better than
Asshole's fucking abysmal.
Ugh.
It should have been called Abysmal. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
So,
we love
for me, big thanks, Scribble. It was a great idea. I thoroughly enjoyed
Scribble, we love you, man. Thank you, man. He's always hit me up, coming up with ideas, and we want to have you on for 2 reasons. One, I want to, because he did a new metal album. I would love to review that with him and talk about it and maybe go behind the scenes, kind of do an interview / review, track by track. I think that would be a lot of fun. And I mean, this guy's
even heard it.
Supporters. I've got it. I'll send it to you, man. I bought it.
So what's your take on doing this deep dive into the gods that are Megadeth?
Dude, I loved it. I just absolutely loved it, man. I'm so glad I did for pretty much the same reasons, man. I mean, because I think it was one of those things I always intended on doing. But you get busy with life, and when you're doing a radio show plus a podcast, music, there's times where you're almost like, well, I'm gonna go chill and watch some TV, and this kind of, I don't want to use the word forces, but it kind of does. It forces you to, okay, I got to listen to this.
Yes.
And because of that, I think that's really cool. Because it made me, and then I'm going, oh God, man, am I glad I did, even though some of it was painful for me. The positive experience far outweighs the negative of it.
Yes.
So
I agree.
Scribble, thank you, man, because I know he's a huge Megadeth guy. I think Megadeth's his favorite thrash metal band as well.
Yeah, it's probably why I like the kid so much.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. Gabriel's a
Hey,
great dude.
he's
We
great.
love you, Scrib. We love you, man. Thank you for everything you do for us, dude.
Absolutely. I think it's about time to get out. I just want to remind you guys, go to the top of the page, the Podbean page, because this is going to be on YouTube. Um, I decided that since we had put the other one up, I had to keep putting at least these up. I was going to reserve the YouTube page for strictly guest interviews. Uh, but man, I don't know. You never know what Bushy's going to do. So on the Podbean page, it's not going to be on iTunes anywhere else. You're going to have to go to the Podbean link. At the top of it, there's a link that says get 10% off or it says use code the plug podcast. So the promo code is the plug podcast, all one word, all caps. Get 10% off at w.gg. Yes, it's a legit site. Click the link, it'll take you right there. Scroll through. They got a bunch of different flavors. They got tumblers, all kinds of
Yeah,
cool.
I also make another suggestion because I noticed you posted it in our, and not just the plug podcast Facebook page, but also our Facebook group page. Go there if you can't, if you can't, I mean, obviously you can find Podbean, but if you want, and hit
Oh,
that link. And I'm also going to try to maybe do more social media, not just for the podcast, but the radio as well. Like I've got an X account that I haven't really done a lot with, but I'm going to start doing more with it. I might even convert it into, or maybe just start two accounts, one for the podcast, one for me as a radio thing.
right.
And I'm going to talk to Jeff at Cranium and see, hey, do we have a X page? Do we have, like, I think we should utilize as much of the social media platforms as we possibly can, man. So
Absolutely. I'm like I said earlier, I'm also working on t-shirts, plug podcast t-shirts. I'm gonna do a small run at first to see if anybody wants them. If not, well, I'll eat that money. I'll have to charge a small profit, of course, but I'm not trying to rape anybody. I've just got to see what they're going to charge me.
well, hey man, I know there's been people that actually bought Metal Mike shirts, man, which again just
There's people that bought
I mean,
Bushy Power Hour shirts.
yeah,
So
it humbles me, man, because I'm
yeah,
just like, oh shit, thank you, because yeah.
yeah,
In
it's
fact, I
badass.
think and that's the thing. I want to give a shout out to all my fellow DJs at Cranium and also all my fellow podcasters for their love and support as well. That includes Ralph and Ian, Chris and Aaron, Mark, Mooger Fooger, and Jerry, and Andy Rodriguez, and Al Horta. And if I'm forgetting anybody, John Verno from Metal Mayhem ROC. All you guys are amazing, man.
Absolutely. And then, of course, like I said, we're going to be sponsoring the Plum Hollow and Moonshiners festivals. If you're ever down in the South Carolina area, the first full weekend in October or the last full weekend in May, it's well worth the price of admission for 3 or 4 days of camping, drinking,
That
and
sounds like fun, man.
and
I
and,
might try to
and
see
some
if I can
cool
go to the
booze.
October one. I might. I mean, the thing is now I'm spread because now that I'm a co-owner of Cranium, I'm expected to go to the New Jersey Metal Fest that my partner Jerry promotes.
Oh,
So I got to figure out how I'm going to make time for that. Plus Costa Rica, and then and then there's Rockin' Pod, which I talked to Jeff about that. I want Cranium to have a presence there if possible. At the very least, if we can't sponsor it, just maybe have Cranium count because they count radio with the podcasting. Get a table. Let's do some live shows. That would be amazing.
yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, man. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to all our listeners. We love you, man. Like Scribble, like Travis Parada, Adam Driver. Is that his name, Adam?
That's an actor.
Adam
Adam NC. I don't remember
Adam
his last
NC. I can't
name.
remember your real name, brother, but we love you, man. Thank you for listening
Absolutely.
to the Metal Mike Show. Thank you for supporting the plug.
James
James
West.
West, all you guys, man. We love you, man. Thank you so much. It means the world to us.
It
And a big
absolutely
shout
does.
out to my partners at Cranium, Jeff and JD, and my big brother, scapegoat. My dad, I love you. And of course, my twin brother, the brother version of myself, Metal Mark.
Heck yeah, man. That's a good way to close it out, if you ask me. Metal
Yep,
Mike,
yep.
I don't know how I'm going
Keep
to do
fighting the good
this.
fight and stay metal to your dying breath.
That's right. God forgive me, motherfuckers buy vinyl. We'll see you next time.
God forgive me. I love that, dude.